Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Empire's Happy versus Nani here on I believe this is dual site. Hopefully I am not messing up my names. I believe this is dual site. If not, I'm sure all the people in the comments will let you know how wrong I am. Anyways, Nani spawning as the orange Protoss player here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the yellow Terran over here yellow Terran over here at the 9 o'clock position. This is going to be only 2 spawning locations, so both players pretty much know where the other player already is. As the game does get started, Nani does not look like he's going to be scouting with that 9 pro, perhaps going to be waiting for that 13. As we see Happy setting up a supply depot over here on the top right hand side of the map. This is a little bit odd, as with only 2 starting locations on a map like this, proxy Protoss rushes are very viable. I've seen proxy gateways being placed down. Early zealots do cause a bit of a problem, especially if a Terran player doesn't go for those early marauders with concussive shells, or doesn't try to get an early reaper, and then there's so many zealots in the base that it does become a problem. But that's not going to be the case this time around, as Nani is going for a gateway back at home, now chrono boosting out more probes. It looks like we should be getting up an assimilator as well. Meanwhile, we are going for a refinery, so both players pretty much playing standard. As an SCV now coming out from Happy, and Happy going to be doing the early scouting here on the map. We'll see how this is all going to unfold and what strategies these players will be deploying and using. I would not be surprised if Happy added on trained up a Marine, then added on a tech lab on this barracks in order to go for a Reaper expansion. A very viable strategy, keeping the command center close to home after upgrading to an orbital command, as the SCV now out and about and now starting to do a bit of scouting inside the base. Will spot that second of the Cybernetics core now going down, as the pylon is currently coming into play. A probe and an now getting double team. Happy needs to get out of there. The SCV does have 5 more hit points than a probe total if you combine the shields, but a second probe coming in, joining in on the fight, as an SCV now wandering around over here, just patrolling in between this location. He could get shot down or destroyed by a stalker, a zealot, or a probe as well. I'm not quite sure what exactly Happy wants to do with that one SCV. I think it's just considering that it's going to be lost anyway, wants to know when that expansion will be coming into play. We are going now into another supply depot and now a factory over here. So Happy going pretty gasless so far, but also teching. This is a rather strange strategy, as the probes, is he going to be able to escape? Oh yes, barely able to escape, down to 4 hit points and now able to run away. Very, very nicely done, and we'll see how this is all going to work out, as Happy currently only with 1 bunker here. And we'll see what exactly is going to come down here, as the probe now attempting to run away from that Marine. The Marine does have a little bit of sight on that probe, but the probe does move slightly faster, and the Marine simply allows it to walk by. An SCV does activate the Zelnaga tower here. The probe is going to go back around, perhaps set up a proxy pylon, as we are now going into a quick starport. So this is perhaps one of the strangest 1-1-1 builds I've seen in quite some time. So a straight 1-1-1 build for Happy, and I'm not exactly sure if this is the standard 1-1-1, because normally there's a reactor on the barracks if it is the Protoss versus Terran 1-1-1. And there we go, now going into a tech lab, gonna scout out with this one particular Hellion, and then follow it up with most likely cloaked Banshees. I did not see that second refinery being placed down, but it looks like he may be going in for cloaked Banshees. Happy is a bit behind overall, 21 harvesters compared to 25, but we are going to be going into Banshees and cloak as well. All of that is just simply waiting, as the Hellion going to take a quick look around, sees that there is no robotics facility, and now going after probes. Is going to actually be able to take down a probe? Yes, able to take down one, but not able to take down a second one, as a Marine is now being added and now going into a robotics facility. Nani playing very smart, kind of hiding the fact that he does not have detection, and now he will have detection in just a moment, as we do see a proxy pylon over here. We can also see that Happy is patrolling with this one guy over here. Thank you. I really forget to set to busy sometimes. And yes, I do it. I do cast because I do love the game. Everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for listening already, as we are now in the midst of the game. If you guys want or could, Definitely would appreciate some support out there, posting on the forums to help me get more views. My views have been falling steadily, and if it falls any further, well, we'll talk about it then. Anyways, Happy is back over here up on the high ground. We can see a factory is back over here, as now a Banshee gonna try to make its way in. It looks like the Banshee was not spotted, and there are not very many probes over here at all. An observer is being trained up, and now a pylon being added, as this one Banshee's not going to get that much damage in at all. Quickly now trying to cloak, sees that there's pretty much nothing there. A premature cloak. Happy going to get off one probe kill, perhaps the second one as well. No. Yes, able to get 2 probe kills already, and now really needs to figure out what his long-term goal is. Is he going to be able to get a sentry? The sentry would make it worth it, yes. And now, killing off a sentry was very important, as that sentry is a very expensive unit. 150 total resources, as now the Banshee going to come around that backside. Not going to really be able to do all too much. Very low on energy already. Perhaps get 1 probe kill? No, not even 1 probe kill, as the Banshee forced to back off down to 0 energy and now decloaking. Banshee now over here. There are stalkers in position. Happy now just needs to simply retreat with what he has, as we are now going to be moving forward. Factory back off over here. It looks like it's going to turn into standard Terran bio play now. We may see a change after the Raven to get a reactor onto the starport, as the Banshee or the Raven going to be able to detect any observers in the air. And now we are going into Marines and Marauders. You can see how loud that waterfall is if you want game sounds, how annoying that is. 1 proxy pylon will quickly get destroyed. Nothing is going to warp in there. Nani now going to be down 500 total resources, but his economy is slightly ahead, as Happy now finally establishing his natural expansion just a little bit later. We are going to be getting into a lot more pylons here. No Artosis pylon, as Nani now getting into more pylons over here, making sure that 1 pylon is not powering multiple buildings. As the observer keeping track of the army here, there is a Raven in the group. The Raven could throw down 1 to 2 point defense drones. 2 Banshees now coming in from the backside. Not going to really be able to go toe-to-toe against 3 Stalkers. And those Banshees once again decloaking in order to perhaps gain control of the center and save up the energy for a more important battle. We are going into a Twilight Council and a Forge. So level 1 weapons upgrade, perhaps even level 2 and level 3. As I'm waiting to see what Nani wants to go. He may be trying to go into High Templars. With the Raven out, I do not believe that the Dark Templars are going to be that effective unless he also gets Blink. And by getting Blink, he should be able to blink and focus down that Raven rather quickly, as we are now going to see a probe quickly get destroyed here. And Raven, in comes the cloak here. Point defense drone now being added. Where is it? There's the point defense drone. And now auto turrets. So using auto turrets instead to absorb a lot of that damage. Another auto turret could be added in. Not quite sure what's going on here, as the Metavacs now coming in to do some healing as well. Zealots getting slowed down from that concussive shell, and very interested to see what exactly Happy is doing in this group here. We are going to see more Stalkers come in. In comes an auto turret. The Ravens, the Banshees need to back off here. That 1 auto turret is going to be dealing a little bit of damage to those Stalkers, but not very much. And I really think a point defense drone would have been much better in that engagement. All the Stalkers would not have been able to shoot down the Banshees. Banshees could have focused down the sentries, and that would have been a complete change in that battle there, as the Banshees would pretty much have free reign, as Stalkers. Well, it takes 20 shots from a Stalker in order to deplete the energy, maybe even 21 if you add in the energy that's naturally regenerated or rebuilt. Marauders and Marines looking to do a roundabout attack. Marine holding this though, Naga Tower here. It looks as though the forces are going to be coming around from the side, perhaps being able to do a bit of a push here, as we are now going into armor upgrades, and now a second forge warping in as well. Marauders and Marines now pushing across the center. This is a very even fight. 102 versus 106, 55 versus 49 in terms of overall food. We are going to have the Observer in the middle of the field. Metavacs, and this Banshee is still trying to fly around, and Happy really not quite sure when to engage. He does have a Ghost Academy. He is now, or he should now be starting to train up some Ghosts in order to get EMP Shockwave ready. It looks like, yes, it looks like we are also going into an armory. Level 2 weapons upgrade and armor upgrades most likely will be coming online in just a moment. And both sides just regrouping just a little bit. And it looks like Nani lost a couple of probes. Now a total of 11 worker kills. We are now at 56 compared to 54. Not too many units killed there, as he is looking to see if there is an observer. Doesn't see an observer, as the Banshees are now going to be able to focus down a couple of these probes. Once again, able to get some easy damage, and now backing off some more. That one observer will be able to keep track of these Banshees, but the Banshees are just going to float on the top right-hand side of the map. Happy really needs to take up a third base. He can try to do a 2-base all-in right now, as you are going to also see an engineering bay here. A very, very small opening for units to try to make their way through. A massive bio. I still do not see any High Templar. You can see now Nani establishing his third base before the Terran. So the longer this game goes, the worse it is going to be for the Terran player Happy now, as I don't think he's going to live up to this name if he does let this game get away from him. Observer is still keeping track of these Banshees off over here. You can see two Banshees here, as the Banshees once again fly away. The Observer is still keeping track of it, as we are now getting up this third base once more. Stalkers are in position to perhaps try to intercept and deal some damage here, and really 4,500 versus 4,225. Not quite sure what Happy is thinking at this stage. His command center is a little bit late. He's gonna end up being behind in overall economy. He is now 58 compared to 54. Nani now starting to defend his third base. It looks as though Archons could be warping in, or we could be getting some Psystorm as well. Feedback onto the Banshee there, and now you can see that the Banshee trying to simply run by Zealots are not going to be able to do very much. The Zealots do have charge, a perfect balance to the very gas-intensive Archons that were built. And with no Hellions, these Zealots may be a bit of a problem. Mass Hellion or Mass Zealots, very, very effective in Wings of Liberty until the Battle Hellion comes online in Heart of the Swarm. So what most likely we're going to see now is this very large group of Zealots may be able to engage. Banshee now trying to come in once again, trying to get some more kills. It looks like the Banshee's going to back off, but what you're most likely going to see is this swarm of Zealots with armor upgrades going to be able to just simply push in and absorb a lot of the damage, especially with going up against only 2 upgraded Marines. Level 3 armor upgrades about to be completed. If we get Guardian Shield in this group as well, those Archons will be also very difficult to stop. Another pylon being placed over here. Happy does spot it, not quite sure what's going down, as a Zealot able to finish off a Marine and slice him up to bits right there, now holding that South Zelnaga tower. Happy with this massive bio force, he's gonna really have to stutter step. If you take a look at the forces, those 3 sentries, there are some more High Templars being added once again. High Templars and now another Archon being added, as we'll see how this is all gonna work out. Happy seems to just be a little bit slow in his engagements right now, as even more Zealots are being added to this group. So those Archons are going to be able to just use that range of 4, deal a lot of damage. The Ghosts need to get those EMP shockwaves down, as we are now going into the robotics bay. There are a lot of medevacs in the air, a lot of Ghosts. How is this all going to work out? Are we going to get some EMP shockwaves? And now in comes the engagement. Massive Psystorm or EMP shockwave, and brilliantly done by Happy. I think Happy with those EMP shockwaves depleted all the energy, and Happy is going to take this game. And after just getting those EMP shockwaves down, they did have a smaller radius, and now we're going to see a very, very small armor coming in from Nani, as this Bio Ball was just that effective. 2 upgrades, no shields, no Guardian Shields, no force fields, as Happy now just going to simply stim in and now perhaps finish all of this off. Take down the pylons, make sure no reinforcements can come in at all, and now go after all of these probes. Zealots are off over here. This is not looking good at all, as we can see the Zealots now trying to surround, trying to engage more Marines coming in, and Happy simply just baiting Nani to attack him, and now with the advantage gonna get the win. And that game completely unfolded in a different direction than I thought. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed game 1 in this series between Nani and Happy.